Our next guest has probably left. No, our next guest stars on the tremendously popular television program Grey's Anatomy. Please say hello to the lovely Kate Walsh. It must be a very exciting time for you with a big hit show, the Grey's Anatomy and stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's very exciting. We've been thrilled to be having just such great ratings and a great audience, and we got to do all this travel and promotion.
Where did you go?
We went to South America over the summer and Europe.
Is that right?
Yeah, we went all over Europe.
Exciting.
It was exciting. You know, the problem is that often, you know, you're definitely in the public eye, and so when there are mishaps, then more people than not get to sort of see them. So
mishaps you're describing like what?
Well, the last city we were in, and our press tour was Milan, and I had to go to a lunch. First of all, I felt very James Bond in the first place because I had a lunch meeting in Zurich. So I was flying from Milan to Zurich, and I was wearing just, you know, a very kind of conservative navy blue dress and a trench coat. Again, Bond, and had nothing more than my purse with me, and I Bond or high-end call girl. So I felt
whoa,
like,
hello.
You know, I mean, it is. You know, I'm going to Zurich for an hour. So at any rate, you know, I'm in the Milan airport, and I take off my trench coat at security because, you know, it's security, and you know, the guys are all looking at me, and I'm like, God, you know, those crazy Italians. It's true what they say, you know. And I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, well, that's, I don't know, it's kind of nice, yeah, whatever. And then I go through, and everyone's just looking at me. I'm like, wow, this is really true what they say. And then I get to the little duty-free shop. I'm shopping around before I get on the plane, and I look in the mirror, and my dress, it turns out, is completely sheer. And so it...
nearly transparent.
Nearly transparent.
Whoa,
It was navy
hello.
blue. Yeah. So it turned, I don't know, I was panicked, needless to say, because I'm like, what am I going to do at this meeting? I'm either going to keep a trench coat on, which is weird, or I'm going to look like a weird high-end call girl that's like, hello, I love to party. This is how I roll. And just as I saw that the dress is completely sheer, someone came up to me and was like, Addison? And I'm like, yes, in Milan. And they're like, can we have a picture? I'm like, yeah, is my dress sheer? They're like, yes, we want a picture. And so that was, and then I was struggling. How am I going to find a slip in the airport? And I ended up getting like a big tube top and sort of used that as a half slip and then like a weird kind of sports bra bustier underneath it. But at any rate, but I made it to Zurich. Yeah.
See, it's interesting that things like that concern you, and then you look at the way Richard Simmons dresses.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't it crazy? He couldn't care less. A very odd thing.
Very sparkly. Very sparkly.
And you live in Los Angeles, and
yes.
You have a home, and
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I'm renting now because
renting a house in Los Angeles.
I'm renting a house. I
thought about buying a house?
Well, I did. I bought a house, which to me it was a very big deal. I lived in New York for many years and had an apartment, and then to buy a house. I mean, I was like, oh wow, this is just huge. And you know, it was just a little two-bedroom house in the hills, but I'm like, generations of Walshes will live here. My children, my children's children. I mean, it's just a two-bedroom house, but it was such a big deal and an investment. And then I finally decided to do a little work on it, and all I wanted was a deck. I'm like, you know, I just want a deck for my children and my children's children to play on. And it didn't occur to me that people buy and sell houses all the time, so there's that. But at any rate, I hook up with a contractor, and it was just, I really do believe that the contractors are sort of the secret mafia of L.A. They do, forget the studio heads and the power bro. It's really the contractors that run the town.
Very powerful people, aren't they?
I've seen the proudest men cry in front of the contractors. Like, I just want a treehouse for my child. Yeah, and I ended up, I just wanted a deck, and I ended up getting talked into an entire remodel. That you like to cook, right? I'm like, and it was, again, this is a very ambiguous foreign accent. You like to cook, yes? Yeah, I love to cook. You should have a big kitchen. And I'm like, you're right, I should. And really, you know, we can make this place your palace, you know? And I'm like, okay. And so then, and I thought, well, I'll approach it. You know, I'm an affable kind of person. I've heard horror stories, but I'm just going to approach it like a decent person. I'm going to sit down, a glass of wine, have a little dinner, look over the plans. And that was the worst mistake ever, because basically I made him my friend, and he's not. And it was basically a year and a half of dealing basically with like the personality of a troubled teenager. and then the other mercy. And then you tried the tough mom like thing. Like my mom in department stores, like, you know, when she'd want to return something, it would get very like, you are will take. I was like, you have to, and they just hang up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're like, I'm like, you have to come. Hello? No.
The work ever completed?
No. What happened? No, I kind of had to have them finish just finish the kitchen, and throughout the time they kept bringing me things like they had hats for their construction company, and then like jackets.
That makes
you know, they're like, here's a hat.
A snappy
and
looking
I have
construction
like a whole
company
warm-up
hat.
suit with the name of their contracting company. I'm like, I just want my sink.
You
so
feel,
I
you feel
ended up,
much better
I
wearing
ended up
that hat
selling
around
it,
next time you're in Milan. Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but you're in a rental home now and everything's just fine.
Everything's great.
I got Everything's Great with Grey's Anatomy, Thursdays at 9 p.m. Kate Walsh, pleasure to meet you, Kate.
It's so nice
Thank
to
you
meet
very
you.
much for being here. We'll be back with Ciara, everybody. Thank you very much.